Time for the final race of the weekend, and all drivers are involved. There is a compulsory driver change in this race. The grid is determined by the combined results of the first two races, and the regular driver must start this race before they hand over to their nominated legend. So we'll go through the order. There's a range of drivers. They're all mixed up from the results over the course of the weekend, and there's a compulsory pit stop window of between laps 4 and 7.
And as if the competition in V8 Ute racing, the panel rubbing, the mirror smashing doesn't spice it up enough, to throw in a pit stop and 2 drivers in each car, this is going to be awesome.
George Elliott teaming up with Marshall Brewer, a couple of old NASCAR boys. They're pretty good when it comes to pit stops. Gary Baxter and Cam McConville have managed to get their car on the grid. That's great news. So on the front row of the grid, Jeremy Gray, first time on the front row, up against Gary McDonald. And the Commodore says, ciao bye.
McDonald absolutely smoked Gray, who with the nerves almost stalled it. He's been eaten up by Kim Jane and also Grant Johnson.
It's a busy first chicane. Steve McFadden goes around in the background.
That car has been in the wars. We saw in race 2, he climbed up over the tyre barrier at the exit of turn 9, now off at turn 1, race 3.
So all of the regular drivers are behind the wheel. This is Kim Jane.
The extreme clutch in car. Look at him. Tap, tap. Come on, Grant. I need to get hold of McDonald before he bolts.
Well, he's bolting already. They saw themselves out on this first lap. Now the strategy comes into play here, Damien. When do you pick to take that compulsory driver change?
I don't want to be the one making the call. Naturally, these regular drivers will be wanting to do as many laps as possible. And your strategy can sometimes change depending on what your main opposition are doing.
McDonald out in front, Johnson, Jane. Look at them all ganging up on Jeremy Gray. Jack Elsgood has got down the inside, and now Andrew Fisher is going around the outside as they come back into the racecourse section of the road.
And a special mention there, Gary Carson in the Select TV Falcon, who has improved with every outing last year. He's in 7th place.
He'll hand over to Marcus Zukanovic, pacemaker in car with Andrew Fisher, who will give this car to Rick Bates, but not before he's had a big lunge. Look at the top 3, nose to tail.
And back there, Jeremy Gray getting a workover. Now the DBA on board with Jack Elsgood. Very surprised Jack did not do what we call a flat shift. He didn't leave the throttle, full throttle when he changed gears. He actually had a lift, which is a little bit surprising in this category. Normally they do a flat shift to make the gear change a lot quicker.
Well, the Commodores are fighting back in this last race. They're 1, 2, 3, but McDonald's under the pump. I thought he was going to jump away with it, but have a look. He's going nowhere. They've got a rope attached to the back of that car.
And so close is Grant Johnson, you can almost not see Gary McDonald from inside Kim Jane's car.
Now, I've watched enough Ute races to know when danger's brewing, it's brewing.
Oh, the Yokohama replay there shows McFadden into the side of Ryle Harris at turn 1. Boom! There was the impact.
Did he get a help from behind, maybe?
Oh, probably. Turn 1 of a V8 Ute race, very likely.
The rest of the field through the centre chicane. Look at Johnson sliding. Oh, Kim Jane into the wall.
And that'll be race done for Kim Jane. That was a big slap, and now for the lead. Great move, Grant Johnson, up on the curb, bounce into the side of him. Now Jack Elsgood into the lead.
Oh, they put themselves in the fence, and Elsgood's gone through. 4 Falcons have just gone by 3 Commodores. No one wanted to give up that spot, and they've both ended up in the fence.
Which is why we love V8 Ute racing. None of them want to give up. None of them want to give an inch.
Surely, though, watching on, you can't help but feel like you'd love to be in among this.
Yes, of course I do. Much like when you watch Crompton and Scaife do a call of the supercars. But look at that move up the inside of Gray, who, nudge, nudge on the exit. He's not giving up.
How did Crompton and Scaife get involved in the Ute telecast? That's got to be a first. Look at Jack Elsgood. He's getting away from all this drama. That's the safest place to be. But Jeremy Gray, they swamped him at the start. He's starting to give a bit back.
And we see now the Yokohama replay, 170 Ks and now a slap into the wall for Kim Jane.
And that'll be left front damage. Race over. He'll limp that car back to the lane, and Steve Owen won't get a drive. And have a look at the madness going on up in front. The Commodore boys arguing among themselves. Kim Jane limping. Jeremy Gray just giving back as good as he gets. And we've We've gone from 1, 2, 3 Commodores to 1, 2, 3, 4 Falcons in a corner.
And one of the Holdens stuck in the wall. Our race leader, Gary McDonald, who got caught up in that skirmish with Grant Johnson, and that has brought out the Pettis safety car.
Back in Adelaide with race 3 in the V8 Utes, and while we were away, the whole field virtually came in and pitted, but the leader, Jack Elsgood, didn't.
And that is a big mistake. Whenever there's a safety car, you should pit because everyone else then is circulating at a slower pace. Jack Elsgood is now going to have to execute his pit stop when the race is restarted and his competition is punching around at full race speed. Not good for Jack Elsgood.
Right, so we're restarting the race. Roll Harris is still running. Robbie Matheson. Oh, you can always expect something different. He takes over from Brad Patton. Here's Andrew Medicki bolting into the Cooper's Clear Falcon, that EBA in-car, but they're out of the race now. They have given away so much time because they didn't pull in when that safety car came out.
And on screen now is our current race leader, Ryle Harris, but Aaron, he's going to face the same problem as Jack Elsgood. He should have pitted under the safety car, but now it's likely he'll have to pit under green flag conditions, and he will lose a massive chunk of time.
That's the Yokohama replay where Kim Jane hit the fence, and really this is a race-changing moment because of what happens down here at turn 9.
Up ahead, you see Grant Johnson into the side of Gary McDonald. There's the end result. Understeer into the tyre barrier. Both Commodores stuck. And you see Gary McDonald stuck there, brought out a safety car.
Steve Robinson back in the category this weekend, sharing with Noel Edge, putting a move on Brendan Tucker.
It's funny when you watch these guys who are a little bit further down the field, not quite as fast as the front guys. They have their own little jewels, but the attitude of the car is not quite the same as those leading guys.
Roll Harris makes his pit stop. He'll hand over to Andrew Schultz, and he will slip way down the leaderboard. Wasn't a bad way to go, because if you miss that first safety car, you may as well just keep going. Try to build a margin while the rest of them are fighting among themselves. But this is the car that assumes the lead. The window for pit stops is closed. The man behind the wheel is Rick Bates.
You can just see him grabbing 4th gear through turn 3. When you're watching from the outside, that turn 3 doesn't look quite as quick as it is, but to grab 4th gear makes it a very quick corner.
And a lot of people might be saying, Rick Bates, rally driver, what's this all about? But the fact is, Rick's done Bathurst in 2-litre cars and in V8 supercars. He's done a lot of circuit racing, so he knows his way around. And he's not afraid to throw this thing at a curb or two.
Throw it over a curb or two, and you heard the engine just screaming. Grab the rev limiter there, bit of a slow gear change, but he has a 3-second lead. Big breath. I'm heading into turn 8. Look at the nostrils flare.
He didn't flinch. What are you going on about?
Oh, he didn't flinch, but did you hear the big lift off the throttle? Get into it, Batesy. What have we got there?
Oh, it's a ute race. There's debris here, there and everywhere. It's way off the racing line. That'll be okay. There's second place. George Medicki, he's on the hunt, and he's looking for this car. Check out the windscreen. Might need replacing for the next round.
Well, you can see the damage on the left headlight, and the bonnet's creased up. I'd say from that impact, the vibration and the shutter has gone all the way through the car. Careful, Batesy.
And with damage like that, I think that's worth 3 Hail Marys and an hour farther at the end of the race. This is Leanne Tander, sitting in 9th. Bridie's with their co-driver.
Craig Dontis, you've just put Leanne Tander into the car. This is your home track. Does it feel a bit strange standing here in pit lane while Leanne's out driving your car?
Look, Leanne's pretty good. She knows what she's doing, so happy to have her in the car. It was hot work out there this morning.
Did a great job starting 24th up to 11th when you came in.
Yeah, we've had a shocker of a weekend, so to put it in a good spot for Leanne to take over. Pretty wrapped new car for the weekend, so getting used to the Holden, so very happy.
Well done.
Thank you.
He's quite a thirsty camel after that hot work in the morning.
Well, Leanne is under fire here from Charlie Kovacs Jr. And in familiar colours, look at the background, that was Tim Shaw. All out of control through the chicane. Oh, and that's Tim Shaw into the fence. Look at that. Huge crash for the former Future Tourist champion. And Stephen Bradbury makes it through. That's huge.
That's a familiar story, Bradbury making it through with that happening in front of him, but that is a nasty impact. Very nasty indeed. As we mentioned just a lap ago, and another car has spun on the oil.
That's Matt Lockwood, the Kiwi in the Isri Truck Seats Commodore.
I made mention 2 laps ago, you're grabbing 4th gear as you go through that turn. That is big speed.
Let's have a look again.
Look at the top of your screen.
Clips the tyre bundle, and the left front is just dangling. It's no good. So he's got to the next one at the left-hander at turn 3. No steering.
No steering at all. Top of screen there. That impact is huge. I mean, again, the flames make it spectacular. Let's just hope Tim's okay, because you can see there the left front wheel flopping around. That was from the impact on the tyre bundle at turn 1 on the apex.
And look for Stephen Bradbury in the iSeek Falcon. He does a good job here. Steers right. A moving car that's out of control, that can't be operated. But that means the flag falls on this race, and the win will go to Rick Bates and Andrew Fisher. And for the Cedars Racing team, they've had 2 wins this weekend. It's a great result.
Great result for the team. In fact, brilliant result. You probably couldn't hope for much more. And look at that, 7 Fords in the top 10.
And 2 father and son combinations as well in 4th and 10th. But Bronny's with our winner, Andrew Fisher.
Andrew, any win in a V8 Utes race is tough. Today, though, seemed even tougher. Congratulations.
Yeah, look, what a great result for the Jesus Racing team. On a Sunday of all things, which is always good for us. Got plenty of people back there praying for us. But yeah, look, it was a great result. It was a fantastic concept having the legends in there as well. And obviously, I'm honoured to have Rick Bates, who's a motorsport legend, in the car with me. And it was great to share the weekend with him. He had a great time. He drove the car really well. And coming home in first place in that last race was a great result.
Now, the legend drivers not eligible for championship points this weekend at the first round. So David Cedars leads the way. 7 rounds to go, but the Fords are 1, 2, 3, 4.
Before we got the car, we were saying top 5 is where we should be, but then when everything happened so late, it went back to the top 10, and we really pushed, and we ended up with a podium in the combined and the championship league. So we can't do any better, and I'm just wrapped.